Food additive. Food additives are substances added to food, first to preserve it, means to make it last longer, and second to improve its flavors, make it taste better, and also improve its appearance and make it look nicer. Okay, so that is the purpose of adding this food additive into food. And there are a few types of food additive that is commonly used. The first one is called a preservative. Second one is the colorants. Okay, from the name you know that this is to change the colors of the food. Preservative is to make the food last longer. This preservative it can prevents the change of the qualities of the food, and it can also kill the bacteria and the microorganism in the food to make the food last longer. We also use stabilizers and thickeners. This is to change the textures of the food. And we have also flavorings. This is to change the taste of the food. Okay, so these are the commonly used food additive. This chart gives better pictures of what the food additive that we usually use. So there are 4 types of food additive: preservative, colorants, stabilizers, and thickeners, and flavorings. For preservative, we have antioxidants and antimicrobials. Antioxidant is to prevent the oxidations of the food. Antimicrobials is to prevent the growth of the microorganism in food. And colorants, there are 2 types: natural colorants and synthetic colorants. In our syllabus, our focus is on synthetic colorants. Stabilizers and thickeners, as I told you just now, this is to change the textures of the food. Flavorings, we divided it into three types. Sweeteners, this is to add a sweet taste to the food. Flavoring, this is to add some additional taste to the food. And we have flavor enhancers, which is to improve the taste of the food. For sweeteners, there are 2 types: nutritive and non-nutritive. Nutritive is like sugars, and non-nutritive is like the diet sugars. Okay, it gives you the sweetness, but without any this energy. So that is the types of food additive that we are going to discuss. Let's start with preservative. As we have discussed just now, okay, there are 2 types of preservative. The first one is called antioxidants, and the functions of antioxidant is to delay or prevent the deteriorations of foods by oxidations mechanisms. Because some food, when exposed to oxygens, it may be oxidized by the oxygens in air. When the food is oxidized, then the taste of the food may change, and sometimes it will become toxic. Okay, so therefore we need to add antioxidants to certain types of food. For example, biscuits. Okay, most of the biscuits has these antioxidants. Actually, most of the food with oil need antioxidants. And the second types of preservative is the antimicrobial agents. Antimicrobial agents, the microbiome means is the microorganisms. So this is the chemicals that we use to prevent the growth of microorganisms in food. So there are the 2 types of preservative that we always use as additive in food. Okay, so this is a summary. This is summaries of the preservatives. So we have antioxidants and antimicrobials. And examples of antioxidants are ascorbic acid, citric acid, ascorbyl palmitate, isopropyl palmitate. Now, in SPM, you need to remember some of this, okay? If you can't remember all of this, then at least you remember the first one, ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid is vitamin C, yeah? So ascorbic acid is vitamin C. So vitamin C is good antioxidants. So you need to remember the name. And then for antimicrobials, we have sulfur dioxide, benzoic acid, sodium benzoate, sodium nitrate, potassium nitrate, and acetic acid. Now, acetic acid is vinegar. And the bad news for you is you need to memorize all of this. So memorize all of this. So for antioxidants, at least you remember ascorbic acid, and for antimicrobials, you need to remember all of these antimicrobials that we use in food. Okay, so preservative, there are two types. For antimicrobials, there are two types. The first one is we call it the natural preservative. For example, salt, okay, salt, sugars, and vinegars. These are the natural preservative. So, for example, salt. Salt is used in salted fish, okay, dry fish, and salted egg, and also bacons, okay. Sugars is used in jam, okay. We use sugars to preserve jam, and vinegars is used in pickled food, okay. These are the pickled food. So these are the natural preservative that we always use. And for the synthetic, okay, we call it synthetic antimicrobials, which are the chemicals that we use as additive in food, as a preservative. We have sulfur dioxide, sodium sulfite. Now, in SPM, you need to not only know the name, and you also need to know this preservative is used in what kinds of food. For example, the sulfur dioxide and sodium sulfite are used in a soft drink, okay, this is a canned drink, soft drink, and also in a sauce like a soy sauce, okay. So you need to know this. You need to know that sulfur dioxide and sodium sulfite are used in soft drink and sauce. Benzoic acid and sodium benzoate, they are used in fruit juice, okay, fruit juice, chili sauce, okay, tomato sauce, mainly used in chili sauce and tomato sauce, okay, and also in sometimes it's in fruit juice. Nitrite and nitrate, sodium nitrite, nitrates are used in meat, frozen meat, tinned meat, okay, tinned meat, sausage, and burgers, okay. So in SPM, okay, first you need to know what's the functions of this preservative or antimicrobials. Second, you need to know the name of the antimicrobials. And third, you need to know not only the name, but this preservative is used in which types of food. So sulfur dioxide, sodium sulfite in soft drink sauce, benzoic acid, sodium benzoate in fruit juice, chili sauce, tomato sauce, and sodium nitrite in meat, okay, mainly in meat. Okay, so that's what you need to know. Okay, the second types of food additive is colorants and dyes, and we have two types of colorants: the natural colorants and the synthetic colorants. Most natural colorants are extracts derived from plant tissues. For example, sometimes, okay, if your moms want to make a cake and then she want orange color, then she may use orange. Okay, she may use orange. So if she want green colors in the food, then she may use pandan. Okay, the pandan leaf. These are the natural colorants. But extract these colors from the plants have some problems. So in food industry, usually we do not use the natural colorants, we use synthetic colorants. That's because these natural colorants, to extract it, we have some problem. For example, the lack of consistent color intensity means that the color is not consistent. Okay, for example, you want to extract the green color from the pandan leaf. Okay, today maybe the color is very dark, and then the second day then the color is too bright. Okay, the color is not consistent, or the intensities of the color is not not consistent. Instability upon exposure to light. When they expose to light, the color may change. Exposed to light, exposed to heat, the color may change. For example, when you extract it, the color is green. Okay, when it exposes to sunlight, then the color may change to brown. Okay, so the color is also not stable. Variabilities of supply means that sometimes you have a lot. The supply is you have abundance of this pandan leaf. Okay, sometimes maybe it's raining seasons, then you have short of supply. Okay, so the supply is also not consistent. And Sometimes it may be this colorant, the natural colorant, may react with the food components, and sometimes it may give secondary flavors and odors. It give another. It will give some other taste, or some other smells to the food. So that's why in industry we seldom use natural colorants. Okay, in your house, yes, maybe when your moms make cakes, it may use natural colorants, but in industry we seldom use natural colorants because of these problems. Synthetic colorants are water soluble and are available commercially. Most of the colorants that we use in industries are synthetic colorants, and they exist as powder, paste, granules, solutions. Most of the synthetic colorants are complex chemical compounds such as azo compound. Okay, you need to remember this name. Okay, you need to know azo compound is a colorant because in exam, okay, they may give you a list and then they will ask you which of the followings are colorants. Or then you need to know azo compound and a triphenyl compound. These two compounds, azo compound and triphenyl compounds, are colorants. You don't need to know what color it is. Okay, azo compounds usually are yellow, red, brown, and white color. We call it the hot color. Okay, and triphenyl compounds are green, blue, purple. These are the cool color. But the color is not important. Okay, color is not important. You just need to know that azo compounds and triphenyl compounds are colorants or dyes for food. And you also need to know the side effects of these colorants. Okay, for example, it may cause hyperactivities to kids. Usually it's to kids, and it can also cause depressions, usually to kids also, and also asthma. Okay, or asthma-like symptoms. So this picture shows hyperactivity, depressions. Okay, this is asthma. Okay, because it uses the asthma medicines as the spray of asthma medicines. So these are the side effects. Possible side effects are usually is caused by over consumptions. Okay, if you take it every day, for example, just now I show you the colors of the chocolate, right? If you take the chocolate every day, okay, then you will keep on consuming the colorants. Okay, so for a very long time, 1 or 2 years, then it may cause these side effects. That is about colorants. Stabilizer. As I told you just now, stabilizer is to change the textures or the physical states of the food. So in food or chemicals, a stabilizer is a substance added to prevent or retard an unwanted change in physical states. Usually they are starch or gums. Okay, they are polysaccharide like starch and gums. Okay, for example, this is yogurt. Okay, yogurt. We want the yogurt in this creamy form. Okay, in this creamy form. So we add this stabilizer so that the yogurts will keep on. We will remain in this creamy forms. If not, okay, the solids may sink to the bottoms and leaving some this liquid on top. Okay, that's what we don't want. Okay, that's what we don't want. So we add some stabilizers so that these yogurts will remain in the creamy forms at all time. So that is the functions of the stabilizers. Or sometimes we have this thickening agent. Thickening agents is sometimes also considered one of the stabilizer. These thickening agents or gelling agents, okay, it will increase the viscosities of the final product. For example, okay, this is a fruit juice. Okay, this is a fruit juice, but if we want to increase the textures, okay, so that it looks like it's thicker. Thicker is not too solid. Then we use the thickening agents. It looks like it increases the concentration, but actually we do not increase the concentration. Just change the textures only. Yeah. Okay. So that are the functions of the stabilizer. And examples of stabilizer is like it's the starch or gum. Okay, starch or gum, and you need to remember this. Flavoring agent and sweeteners. Flavoring agents, as I told you just now, there are 3 types: sweeteners, flavorings and a flavor enhancer. I'm going to discuss with you what are the difference between these two, okay? But let's see sweetener first. Sweeteners, from the name actually we know that this is to add sweetness to the food, and there are two types, nutritive and non-nutritive. Nutritive is the sucrose, sugars. Non-nutritive is the diet sugars. Diet sugar, it gives you the sweetness, but there's no calorie, there's no energy inside. Usually it's used in diet food, like diet Coke. So you can drink the Coke, but then you won't get fat. So that is sweeteners. Okay, so flavoring, natural, there are two types, okay? Natural flavorings and artificial flavorings. Natural flavorings usually is extracted from plants, herbs, animals, okay, or even microbial fermentations. For example, from yeast, okay, we may extract or derive so these flavorings from yeast. Artificial flavorings are mixtures of synthetic compounds that may be chemically identical to natural flavoring. So this is a mixtures of chemicals. But if you see the structures of the molecules, it may be identical, means it may be same as the natural flavorings, but it's not extracted from plants or animals. It's from it is produced chemically. Sometimes it's from petroleum. Okay, from petroleum, then we produce a substance chemically identical to the natural flavorings, and the taste and the smell is also identical. Okay, but they are not from plants or animals. Usually in an industry we often use artificial flavorings because natural flavoring is very expensive, okay, because of the high cost of the natural flavorings. And it's also because of the lack of availabilities of the natural flavorings, means the supply is not stable. The supply is not stable. Sometimes you have too much, sometimes you don't have enough. So the supply is not consistent. And also the insufficient potencies of natural flavorings. Examples of flavoring is ester. If you still remember ester, it has a special smell, like we call it the fruity smell. Okay, so it will normally is used in a cake and also sweets. Okay, to give this a fruity smell. So that is flavoring. For flavor enhancer, the difference between flavorings and flavor enhancer is that flavorings, you give flavors that the food don't have. For example, you have a sweet, okay, you have some sugars, okay, sugar. So these sugars is just sweet, okay, it has no smell, okay, it has no or no flavor, okay. But if you add some ester inside, okay, so this ester can give it orange or pineapples flavors. Okay, means initially there's no orange and a pineapple flavor, but after you add this ester inside, then you will have orange and a pineapple flavor. So this is flavorings. So it gives the flavors that the food initially don't have. But flavor enhancer, the food already have that flavor. You already have that flavor, but we just want to improve that flavors, make it taste better, and that is flavor enhancer. Examples of flavor enhancer is amino acid L-glutamate and monosodium glutamate, or we call it MSG. And you need to remember these two names, MSG or monosodium glutamate, because sometimes in exam they may give you MSG and they may give you monosodium glutamate. You need to know that this amino acid L-glutamate and monosodium glutamates are flavor enhancer. Sweetener. As I told you just now, okay, this is to add to the sweetness to the food, okay, and there are nutritive and non-nutritive, two types of sweeteners. Examples of nutritive sweeteners are sucrose. Sucrose means actually is sugars. The table sugars that you eat every day is sucrose. That is the normal sweeteners that we use. However, there are some non-nutritive sweeteners. They just give you the sweetness that you want, but they don't have energy, okay? They don't have energy. Examples, aspartame and asasulfame K and cyclamates. You need to remember this name, okay? But if you can't remember all of it, then at least you remember the first two, because the third one is not important. Normally they will ask you the first two, aspartame and asasulfame K. So you need to know that these two types of chemicals are sweeteners, okay? The non-nutritive sweeteners or artificial sweeteners. So that is for sweeteners. Effects of food additive on health. These are the effects of food additive. First, it may cause allergy. For example, MSG, the monosodium glutamate. It can cause Chinese restaurant syndrome. One of the brands of this MSG is Ajinomoto. I guess if I say MSG, maybe you don't know what it is. But I say Ajinomoto, then you should know what it is. Okay. So now, actually in Malaysia, especially in restaurants, okay, they use, I can say, okay, 99% of them, they use MSG in the food. Now, this MSG can cause Chinese restaurant syndrome. Now, why we call it Chinese restaurant syndrome? Okay, this occurs in the Europe country, okay, when this mat salleh, okay, these European peoples, when they visit Chinese restaurants, after taking the food, then they have some of the syndromes, like they feel very thirsty, and then the eyes, they feel the pain in the eye, okay? So every time when they visit Chinese restaurants and taking food from the Chinese restaurants, they have this kinds of syndrome, and therefore they call this Chinese restaurant syndrome. In a Western country, okay, like in the United States or in Europe, okay, normally they do not use MSG. Yeah? They do not use MSG. Only the restaurants from the Asians, like Japanese restaurants, Korean restaurants, and Chinese restaurants, and sometimes Malay restaurants, they use MSG. So since this syndrome is always caused by the food from the Chinese restaurant, so they call this Chinese restaurant syndrome. Sodium nitrate, it may cause blue baby syndrome. This always occurs to babies only, yeah? Okay, babies. So when babies, they take too much, the food with too much nitrate or nitrite, you can see the syndrome is like that, okay? The skin of the babies look blue, and then the lips of the babies is the purple in color, okay? So we call this a blue baby syndrome. So this is allergic to this food additive, sodium nitrate. This is used as a preservative. Sodium nitrate is used as a preservative in food, especially in meats. It can also cause cancer. For example, sodium nitrite. Okay, sodium nitrite, because it can be easily changed to nitrosamine. Nitrosamine is a carcinogenic agent. Carcinogenic agent means the chemicals that can cause cancer. So sodium nitrite is used as a preservative. Normally, is preservatives for meats. And after you consume this sodium nitrate, so inside your body, this sodium nitrate can be changed to nitrosamine. Okay, and this nitrosamine can cause cancer. It can also cause hyperactivity when taken in excess. Tartrazines may cause hyperactive to children, and it can also cause brain damage. This is referring to the colorants, and usually it's the colorants and the preservative. So these are the side effects of food additive. And you need to remember this, because this may come out in essay questions.